Cancer is not a death sentence. From personal experience, being a cancer survivor myself, I can tell you that the disease of cancer is one that strikes fear into us possibly, more than any other. Let me share with you how one person's experience, after being told he has stage 4 cancer, that he should go home because there is nothing else they can do for him. He went home, but he didn't die, how he refused to take this death sentence lying down, and was able to be cured of his cancer within 3 months. Stay with me as we follow the journey of this patient and discover some incredible information that could change even your life. Every day people are given life-terminal prognosis. If you were one of these people, how would you react? Well, it was Mike Tyson who said, "Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth." Come with me as we examine the incredible true story of this person as he fights for his life. This person is having stomach pain. He goes to the hospital, got some tests done, and lo and behold, he had colon cancer. Not a strange tale. I have a few friends who have had this experience. So what does he and the hospital do? Well, this person went through the usual ropes of surgery, chemotherapy and radiation, and then sent home and said, "Okay, you're good to go." But in a year, he begins to feel pain again. He went back to the hospital and the surgeon looked at him and said, "Well, we'll have to run more tests and may have to go back in again." So back to surgery we went. They opened him up and he was totally full of cancer. Ouch, you guessed it, terminal cancer. They closed him up and said, "There's nothing more we can do, we'll just send you home." He was sent home to die. As mentioned earlier, that is not the end of the story. He was able to turn that around. But how did he do it? Fortunately for this patient, the surgeon was caring and in casually speaking to him, mentioned that he may want to find somebody that would do something natural for him. Because of his quest for life, this patient was able to find somebody. And so he went to this place for treatment and within 3 months his cancer was in remission. But why was this patient, who had been given up for dead by the medical system, able to defeat cancer? What are some of the things he did, specifically, that made his treatment successful? Is this some new age magic potion costing lots and lots of money? Stay tuned, we are going to get answers to these questions and more. Before we continue with our story, we need to understand some fundamental principles of health and wellness. So, in this section of the video, I will cover some of the biggest contributors to cancer, and their solutions, and the role these solutions play in providing a shield for the body, and how they serve as a treatment mechanism, if you find yourself needing care. In a nutshell, this patient was given lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. In conjunction with this, they put him on some cleansing programs, they gave him some herbs, and his cancer went away. But why did this treatment work? I'll answer this question a little later, but as we consider what could have been, and how very sad, that many people do die at that point, because they don't believe there's anything else that can be done for them. And so from this case study, we discover 5 takeaways from this video, which, if adopted personally, may impact the quality of life you live. Takeaway number 1. It's never too late to beat whatever diseases people have. They should never give up. But continue to look beyond the more conventional treatments, which can help some. Cancer always doesn't have to be a death sentence. The secret to the treatment of cancer and almost all other major diseases is the treatment for physically, mentally, and spiritually healing. We call this holistic treatment. I'd like to make a disclaimer at this point that not everyone in this scenario recovers from their illness. Some people have left treatment a little bit too long, but certainly there are many stories of people who actually recover. Modern science has told us that every one of us has cancer cells. When they collect and get to where they reach a certain number, the doctor says, "Look, there's a pile of them, it's a tumor, you have cancer." Then why don't we all get cancer? Before we move on, please remember to click the subscribe button, this would be greatly appreciated. Takeaway number 2, you are what you eat. Thankfully, modern science has also told us that for us to fight off those major illness, we need to be healthy, we need to build good an immune system. So if your immune system is working well, you'll be shuffling those growing bad cells off to the waste basket and you won't get cancer. Cancer, like most other diseases, they are most likely to target those who are not as healthy, and these become more susceptible. We want to eat those foods that maintain a strong immune system. So what are the foods that can help to fight back cancer? And why do they work? What are some of the foods this patient had? Some of the latest science has told us that for us to enjoy optimum health, we need a diet that is nutritionally dense, especially with fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. So to ward off cancer, we consume things that are antioxidants like blueberries, red beans, even the dried ones, all kinds of different green leafy vegetables, especially some of your root vegetables like beets. Cabbage is also good. Think of all the family of cabbage foods, they are good at fighting cancer. Think of all the different types of sprouts, high in antioxidants and other nutrition. The legumes are very high in nutrition and makes really good meat substitute. Diet is only one component in being healthy, although it is a big part 20%. Other limiting factors include tobacco use, UV exposure, obesity, alcohol consumption, physical inactivity, environmental factors. Before we continue, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do it now. This would be greatly appreciated. Let's look at takeaway number 3. Emotional intelligence is very important. One of the big things that come up is the mindset of a person as far as good health is concerned. That a person and his attitude and what he believes will contribute to one's overall health. Stay tuned to this channel, more health and wellness topics will be available shortly. Whenever anyone gets a diagnosis of cancer, what is their first reaction? It's usually one of fear and terror, and they think they are going to die. So how does this reaction impact you? This reaction immediately sends a message to the brain, telling it that the body is going to die. This matters because modern science tells us that every cell of the body is impacted by every thought we have. So what should be our reaction? If we want to live, we have to start living like we're going to live even when we have an illness. This is where your belief system comes in. So when you are faced with the bad news that you have cancer, try to remember this. Trust me, it's hard to do so. Not everyone dies from cancer. Stories of others who have cheated cancer of its victims gives people hope. So tell yourself, I can do this, and even if they didn't fully survive, it will give them some extra good years. It gives us the best chance of surviving. Takeaway number 4, avoid being stressed out. There are a lot of lifestyle factors that impact cancer, and stress is a huge component. We know that if we reduce our stress, watch our diet with good nutrients, then the body will fight off diseases. It will cure itself. Unfortunately, some people can be predisposed to an illness. Some of the latest research is telling us that illness can include things like addictions because there is a genetic capacity to the brain to be more addicted or not addicted. They're saying now that you'll get it if you got the gene, but remember that other external factors can impact your chances, like your diet and other health choices, and lifestyle and stress. Earlier we talked about the immune system and how it protects you from diseases. Stress is a great factor in bringing the immune system down. And people who are stressed a lot of the time, their immune function are very poor, hence, they get colds, flu viruses and lots of things happening. So that means they're more predisposed to diseases because stress weakens the whole system. Takeaway number 5, your support system. But there is another important factor which impacts our health that we sometimes overlook. We all need other people, which come back to our attitudes and having healthy relationships. Get some good social support. Support is a really big thing and it's part of feeling loved. If you are ill and in need, inquire what medical and social support might be available in your area. Conclusion, we need a healthy immune system and brain function. That means we eat healthy, think healthy, look after the body and do all the things that keep it in good working order. Don't wait until you're really sick to start making changes to your life. You need to sit down and look at your alternatives and think, what could be wrong with my lifestyle that I need to make changes in and how am I going to approach this? I won't be covering these in this video, but I may do so in another, so stay tuned.